there's that balancing act. You don't know what's best, and you have momentum, you have energy. You have to have the conversation. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. I got a little bit of juice, a little bit of energy. Got some young ODs that are ready to hustle. I'm still there. I'm an older OD now, but I still got some juice. I want to give you some. Closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD Podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD Podcast. Thank you for the likes, listens, emails, all the shout outs. If you need some energy, if you need some juice, I think this is going to be a good episode for you. Because I'm just starting off with some energy and some juice. All right. So, number one of the hardest parts about being the leader of your business, of your office, is knowing when to make a move. Okay. Whether it's buying a piece of equipment, it's hiring someone new, growth, expansion, and growing is not easy. Everyone wants to grow, but do they really want to? And when I say that is, are they willing to sacrifice revenue or sacrifice net to increase revenue? Are they willing to buy the next piece of equipment? Are they thinking ahead? And a couple of things have come across my path the past few months that I think are indicative of that challenge of being a leader. Number one, some staff turnover, some changes of position, and lost one of my former managers. I was sad to have her go because she was very good at what she did, but wasn't right for the next phase of where we're going. Got us here, can't get us there. Okay. And then the other manager that was kind of left, it was a transition phase. Like, what's the new role going to be? What's going to be like? And it came to a head in the sense that we had to have a conversation. We had to get things put in place. And it was a really tough conversation that I didn't want to have because I didn't want to mess with the ecosystem. I felt like we were really like this close. Just if you can't see the video, just an inch, just so close to going over the edge, to getting to that next phase and not having it be an issue. So I was delaying the conversation that needed to be had. And at the detriment of my sanity, the other staff, the culture wasn't where I wanted to be because I wouldn't have the conversation. I finally had that. Okay. And I'll tell you this right now, when you're going in to do that where, staff member may leave, they may stay. If they leave, are you able to sustain? Can you make it happen? And is it worth it to ride through it if they stay? There's that balancing act. You don't know what's best, and you have momentum, you have energy. You have to have the conversation. And the thing that you're waiting to do is generally what needs to be done. As much as it's painful, as much as it hurts, rip the band off, have the conversation. Thankfully, I had a good outcome. At least at the end of the conversation, we'll follow up and see how it transforms and goes from there. But got on the same page, cleared the air. There's no ambiguity in what the expectations are. And that's what I think was hurting us. Clearly defined. This will help us as we bring on new people and go from there. Same mode when you're one of the sayings that I've heard, and I really truly believe it, is that we are most happy when we're building something. And that's me to a T. I like it when I start the practice. I like it when I have a vision for where we're going to go. The past year, I talked about going to the next level, going to the new office, and what that was going to entail. And it was uncertain. I hadn't had an associate before. It was a bigger office, bigger overhead. All I saw was the cost, but I did not see the growth that was there. Back in the day, I wanted $1 million. Before I hit August, I'm there, right? That's growth. That's awesome. And now I'm ready for the next phase. I've learned, I'm ready to go, but that next phase is different than where I'm at now. And I'm trying to hire for where I'm going to be. And these are new positions, new roles. We added the Tixel. We're adding a lot of the dry eye that we've done, but we're going to have an aesthetic component. Amazing piece of equipment that I think is going to help me get there. But now I'm having to hire to fill those roles. Who's going to be the tech that's doing a lot of those treatments? How are we going to handle the follow up? Can this be a business in itself? And I think it can. So it's like I'm starting all over. I have a business that's thriving, doing well, but now I'm looking ahead, setting a marketing plan, have a 3-year goal, and I just got juice. To top that off, I have been talking to some amazing young doctors. There's hope for the industry, I'll tell you that right now. Hope for optometry, because I was under the impression that there's a lot of people that don't want to be in private practice. They want to work for a corporate chain or a big private equity group, right? I've talked to about 5, 6, 7 doctors that are young, hungry, and they're ready to go after it. And that gives me juice. I'm 14 years in and I still am hungry. Right? I am talking to them and I'm feeding off of their energy, but I am also right there. But I've been through some battles now. I have some wisdom, some knowledge, and I have some cash flow. It's a lot different when I'm in my position and have the juice energy versus when I was just starting out. And that is kind of where I'm going to next, right? So, love the energy, love the juice. I'm ready to go. This is the lesson. This is what I want you to take away from this podcast is when you're going to have a vision for the office, I promise you, you're initially going to think about yourself. Like, what do I want to do? How do I want to practice? And kind of go from there. And then when you get in there, if you buy a practice, you still kind of have a culture, you have a patient base, you have to develop that. Or if you start cold, you have nothing. And you're just throwing mud on the wall, give me a patient. And I was very broad, right? I would do any treatments, any patients that would come in. And I didn't really have value for myself. I just wanted patients to get into the office, right? I get it. But when you have that vision, what you need to do is just set the laser focus on where you want to go. That is your North Star. I was talking to a student. I told him Traction, EOS, Gino Wickman. That book is great at outlining core values. And I know it's for your business, but you have to find out your passion, your niche. Do that for yourself. And I've got it down to what I live to do in this world is give hope, educate, and advise. Okay, in some way, shape, or form, that's what I try to do with everything. I'm coaching football, 7th and 8th graders, and I love that they have dreams, goals, right? I want them to think that they can go play college football. I want them to think they can do big things because at that age, everything's a possibility. You aren't beaten down by the world telling you what you can and cannot do, right? I'm still fighting that, have that shield trying to keep that out of my head, right? I want them to have that. When I'm at my church and I'm talking to kids and trying to like have a youth, have more youth leaders, right? It's because I want them to have hope. I want them to be educated. I want to advise. They're not always going to listen to us. When I am going over hiring new staff, I'm talking about this is my passion. If you're going to work here, this is what you need. And when you have that, it gives you juice, it gives you energy, right? That's something that you want to build from. So that's what my core is. Well, me and my current associate are two peas in a pod. We talk back and forth and have so much juice and energy. We feed off of each other. We are not competing against each other, but because she's signing people up, I'm signing people up. We're having conversations, and we are just literally feeding off of each other. And I love that. I'm looking at bringing in another full-time doc. Initially, I was kind of like, well, maybe we want someone that can see peds and likes, disease, something different. right? And I think that works for some offices. There can be that, but that's not me. That doesn't get me excited, right? I don't like putting effort and energy into that, even though it's my patient base. I see glaucoma, we have OCT, we do visual fields, right? But I want another person that just loves anterior seg, that loves dry, that loves the vision I have for Rejuvenation Dry Eye Center, right? Because that's how I'm going to grow that next phase. And one of my core values when we outlined it was quality and consistency. Okay. And then I heard a podcast that was talking about brand, and your brand should be bigger than any doctor in the office. And that includes myself, right? When you start, all you think about is you, and you're building your brand. You're the person, you're the face, right? I'll still be the face because I've been around for so long, right? I have the podcast. I go on YouTube and make videos because I've tried to build that brand, but I want that to be a we. We do this. Any doctor you see associated with rejuvenation or family vision optical, they know what they're going to get. It's like going to Ruth's Chris. It's like going to McDonald's. It is packaged, delivered the same every single time, right? And that gives us brand. That gives us something that can grow bigger than what I have right now, bigger than myself, right? And that's the next phase that I want to go to, and that's what I'm trying to do. Me and my associate, we went to the Triptar meeting for Alcon. If any of you were there were 86 sites they bragged about. We were one of them. Hooray. Go Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was fun. Good. We just bounced things off each other. I think we were literally two nerds in the front of the class talking about the study and looking at the vehicle and look at the controls, what's going on. Just completely nerding out, right? I don't understand what's wrong with us, but this is who we are. There's another office. I love the doctors there. I know they're all three of them good guys. I have a beer with them. They're fun, right? But they're talking about their dry eye center, and they were just completely straight up. The younger doc loves it, has IPL. He's signing up treatments. The middle doc, I do a little bit. I don't really talk about it as much. I have older patients. It's not really a passion of mine. And then the oldest doc, he doesn't do any of it. Doesn't really care about it. Whatnot. And that it's you when you look for signs and signals, that's what it is. And it's not that that's a bad office. They're successful. They are a very successful office. They're booked out for months, right? Good for them. I love that. But that doesn't get me excited. That doesn't give me juice. I want other people that are coming in, and we are the experts. I like to be an inch wide and like 10 miles deep. And that's how I've always been. Just find my little niche, find my little pond, and make it my own, right? That comes with your core values. That comes with knowing how you want to practice. And whether you're listening to this and you're going to start a practice, you're an associate at a practice, look around you. Are they doing what gives you joy? Are you happy when you wake up? Do you have that juice that goes into your veins? Because I do. I know the Dr. B, when she gets up, she loves what she's doing. She left her other office to come here because we were investing in dry eye. Like the number of things that we've done and added since she's been there is more than what she had in probably her career outside of optometry school. And I love that. I was talking to one of the students, and I'm like, half the stuff that I'm doing right now that I'm talking to you about did not exist when I was in school. I want to stay cutting edge. I want to be energetic and youthful and passionate about what I do. That doesn't happen when you're surrounded by things that you don't enjoy. That someone's telling you this will help produce revenue. This is a revenue generating thing. Because then know what happens? You dilute your brand and you become someone that's selling a treatment. The person that doesn't really like dry eye is selling IPL treatments because they bought an IPL. The difference in my practice is that we're authentically passionate about it. Whether it's autologous serum, IPL, Tixel, you name it, we know what we want to do, right? But if that doesn't align with where the patient's at, if it doesn't fit their budget, if they're just not ready to make that leap, that's fine. Tell me where you're at and I can make a plan that will work for you. We will get to the end result. We just may not get there as fast. Okay? And that's the difference between authentic passion, hope, educate, advise versus the rep told me I could make a lot of money doing this. Like the devices I brought into my practice, I believe in. I can sell them because I believe in them wholeheartedly. It's the Opulite. Tixel is amazing. They've been great to work with in the capabilities and things that I'll be able to do with that. Next level. I have a whole vision for how I'm going to incorporate the aesthetics component. And it's not Botox, it's not fillers, it's not microneedling, right? It's a plan that involves the eyes that I think is relatively novel. It's a variation of aesthetics, but it's my aesthetics. And that's fun. So that's kind of what I want you to take, is that at the end of the day, be true to yourself and surround yourself with people. Make your practice something that's synergistic, that gives you juice and energy everywhere you look. When people are like-minded, they will help you get to where you're going, right? I think I said this today. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You need a group of people that believe in what you're doing, what you believe in, to get far. And that's what I want to build. That's what I want you to take away from this podcast, is that you have a lot of decisions to make. Whether you're, CEO of yourself and you have to get yourself to where you want to be, whether you're starting a practice, whether you own a practice, you're an associate in a practice, you have leadership responsibilities, decisions that need to be made, conversations that you have to have. Not always going to like the answers, but don't avoid them because you're afraid of that awkwardness, that dread, that pit in your stomach. Because I'll tell you right now, the moment you have the conversation, you're going to feel better. Regardless of the outcome, you put it out there, you took your shot. Right? Take more shots. And then know what you live and stand for. What is your passion? Develop core values around that, and then guard it tight. Don't stray off the path. Keep going like a laser focus. That's what I found that's given me the biggest amount of growth. I have the most energy and juice. And I think this is how I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to be. That's what I have for you. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and I have a fitting little quote that I found. Not really sure who said it, but here we go. When I found the thing I truly loved, the idea of giving up completely left my mind. It wasn't an option. I was going to keep showing up and trying day after day, year after year, until I figured it out or died. Maybe that's destructive mindset for some, but it's worked for me. Burn the boats. That's what I got. Mic drop. Dr. Lily